Alright, so welcome to this edition of the Inner Circle, and I'm going to be covering a couple of the exercises in the in-between day that you may be familiar with, but you might also not be, and I'm going to give you a couple of variations so that you can find one that will help you hit the appropriate rep range. So it's not going to be too hard or too easy, you can find one that's just right, okay? So we're going to start off with the hip thrust because I think that that's hands down something that everybody should be practicing a lot more of. The simplest version would be as follows. So you're going to be on your back. Okay, what I want you to do is reach your hands out as if you're trying to touch whatever's in front of you. You're going to keep your hands straight. From here, you're going to lift your hips like so until there's no more space between your forearm and your pants. Okay. Reason for this is because it's very easy to do this sort of a thing and not really get a full contraction of the glutes. And when that's the case, if you can see me here as I'm reaching, there's space here. Okay. The opposite is also true where you do too much and then you're using too much of the low back and now there's space here. So what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to figure out where exactly you need to be in order to get the maximum contraction in the glute. Okay? So that's the first option. The second option is a single leg. Okay? Same idea. Press up, back down. Up, and down. You're going to do that on both legs. Okay? Now, next one we're going to do with an extended range of motion. So to do this, you want to get, I like to use a couch, you can use a workout bench if it's comfortable, but you want it to be like right about the middle of your back is where the edge of the object should be. So, come here, for example, I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure I can reach the top, press up, and come back down like this. Naturally, the next step would be single leg, okay, same idea. Press up, back down. Okay, you can still do the thing with the hand. Make sure that you're only going as high as you need. Just like that. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at that, let's take a look at a few of the other ones. Okay, so we're going to cover a couple of variations on the original strength resets that work wonders for building a lot of strength and resilience and mobility. First one we're going to do is going to be the rocking push-up. Really, it's exactly the way it sounds, okay? It's just, you're going to rock and you're going to do a push-up as you do it, all right? The nice thing about this is that it allows you to build up push-up strength while also improving your posture and resetting your body. So it's not as push-ups don't take a lot out of you, but it takes even less out of you than a standard push-up would, and you'll have to test it out for yourself. It's really pretty fantastic. So what you're going to do is start off a little bit easy. You want to be on your knees, and what you're going to do is you're going to reach your hands out a little bit far, and you'll need to make some adjustments as you go along. You're going to rock forward, come down into a push-up, and rock back. Okay? So rather than just being straight up and down like a standard push-up, there's a pretty decent amount of rocking involved. So rock forward, push, and you push yourself backward, okay? Just like that, all right? Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. If you want to make it a little more difficult, just bring your knees off the ground. Do the same thing. Just like so. All right? Now, on that note, as far as the resets go, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover a dead bug, and we're going to show you 3 different variations to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more moderately difficult, and then the standard variation, the difficult version. Okay, so first things first, the big thing is you want to keep your tailbone off the ground. That's going to give you the best ab contraction. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your knees toward your chest as much as you can, and just keep your legs bent. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is opposite sides are just going to very gently touch the ground. Okay, this knee, whichever knee is closest to me is not going to be here. It's going to be as close as I can get it to my chest without forcing it. Okay, moderate version is going to have your knees at a 90-degree angle. You're going to do a few of these bad boys. Okay, now the full variation is going to be a little something like this. Okay, now, even as my legs are totally straight, I still have the non-working knee as close to my chest as I can get it in order to make sure that I'm keeping the stress on my abs. Okay? So now that we've covered that, we're going to take a quick look at the elevated roll. tricky to demonstrate because, as you can see, I have kind of a cramped kitchen. But here's what the elevated roll is going to look like. I'm going to show you the full version first, and then I'm going to show you a little bit easier variation, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to be in a push-up position. Okay, you're going to reach one leg over, and then you're going to do one of these. Okay, and then you're going to reach back, and as you reach, you're going to pull yourself back over. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Reach. You get to this position, and then reach like you're trying to grab for the ground, and come back. You don't have to go as slow as I did, just for demonstration purposes. Just don't want you to go super duper fast, all right? Now, this might be a little hard if this is your first time, so another good option would be to do it from the knees. Now, I'm doing it on a hard floor. I do not recommend that because it's really not comfortable. But what you do is the same thing. Oh, maybe not. Actually, this is pretty uncomfortable. Basically, you're just going to follow the same basic idea, okay? So, you'd be here, and you're going to reach with this foot like that, and then you'll end up in the same position. So the range of motion is going to be a lot less, and it's going to allow you to get used to it, all right? If you want a little bit more of a challenge, what you can do is you can do it from here, reach over, and same thing, okay? So now that I've got you on your elbows, I'm going to just show you the elbow crawl real quick. Very simple, very direct. It's basically the same thing as a standard crawl, like so. Okay, going forward and backward. The only difference is really that you're just going to be on your elbows. There is an important word that I want to make mention of, however. Okay, so when you're down here, you don't want to look down like this. You want to keep your head up as much as you can. Now, I have a very flexible neck, so I can come up quite a bit. You don't need to be up that high, all right? You can be something like this. You don't want to overstress your neck. You just want to keep your head up to the best of your ability. So you can do this in two ways. You can do it on the hands and knees, okay, which for a lot of you is going to be more than enough, and there's no shame in that. This is really pretty tough. If you're feeling pretty strong, you can do it with the knees off the ground as well. It's also a perfectly good option. Not particularly easy, and you might find that you'll need to switch back and forth. Maybe one round you'll do hands and knees, or elbows and knees. Other round you'll do elbows and feet. It's perfectly fine to do that. Okay, so next I'm going to show you a little concoction I came up with called the hack and back squat. The hack squat is named after George Hackenschmidt, allegedly, old school strongman. And what that is basically you come down on your toes, okay, and then you stand back up. Now, some people's knees aren't necessarily going to like that right off the bat, and it also takes some getting used to. And the issue with it is that if your knees start to cave in or they're just not tracking your toes, you'll feel a lot more than you would like with, say, a goblet squat. So you want to really take it easy. So I'm going to show you the good alternative. It's called the hack and back. So this is the standard variation. Would be you're going to squat down, rock forward, rock back, stand up. Okay? Squat down, rock forward, oops, rock back, and stand up. So you'll notice if you do what I just did and you go too far forward too fast, you're going to fall forward. So what you really want to do is you want to kind of lean forward and then lean away from the legs as you come through. Okay? So I'll show you again from here. So watch, I lean forward and then I straighten myself out. Right? Now, this works wonders for stretching out the feet, really stretching out the toes, but it's a little bit tough the first time around. So if this is your first time, you might want to take it a little bit easy and get used to it. So what you can do is, number one, use, let's say, a countertop to help you get into position. This is also good if you don't yet have the mobility to squat all the way down safely without, let's say, falling back. Okay? And then from here, you can also use your hands to pull you forward a little bit, and then use your hands to give you some assistance in standing back up. So you squat down, use your hands as much as you need, rock forward, back, and then stand up, and then down, forward, and back. Here's a little fun trick too. If you don't have a countertop or something like that handy, you can use a broomstick. This also creates a bit of a stability challenge because you can't use as much. You still have to maintain good form, so you can't get away with any bad form. Okay, so you would squat down, rock forward, rock back, stand up. Okay, so next move that we're going to be covering is going to be the windshield wiper. All right, these are there are a couple of different variations of these to make them a little easier, make them a little more difficult. So I'm going to show you those right now. I'm showing you from the side for a couple of reasons. One, I don't have a whole lot of space, and two, I want you to see where my knees are because a lot of people like to let their knees go a little too low. You don't want that. So what you're going to do, you're going to have your hands up like this, so rather than down, keep them nice and wide open. Okay, so I'm going to show you first and foremost the standard variation. Just like so. Notice too that my legs are not going down here, they're staying up pretty close. Like I'm trying to aim them toward my hand, and as such, my knees stay above my belt line. Okay, that's what we want to go for. Now, those are pretty tough, so if you want a slightly easier variation, you can do similar to what we did with the dead bug. So knees completely bent, go side to side. And by the way, you only want to go as far as you can while making sure that your shoulder blades stay on the ground. So if you're going over like this and your shoulder blades come up like that, you're not really getting any benefit from it. So what you want to do is just stop short. You just only go to where you can control and keep it at that range. Okay? Now you can open up to a 90-degree angle to make it a little more difficult as well. And you can also do the half version like this. Okay, and if you need to, you can bend, come back, or you can do the half version, come back, switch sides, and do the half on the other side. This is one of my favorite resets because it builds a ton of strength, particularly in spinal rotation, which is something that most of our strength training just does not give to us, and it's really important for spinal health. So don't skip on these, okay? Let's take a look at the next couple of moves. Okay, so real quick, I want to cover a few things on the pullover, just because I don't know how familiar you are with them, and if you've never done them, it's important to have a couple of quick pointers. So number one, start off very light. You're not going to be going too heavy with these right off the bat, so really go lighter than you think you should. Just trust me. You can always go a little heavier. You don't want to go too heavy to begin with, all right? So I'm going to show you first and foremost with the kettlebell, and I'm going to assume that you're going to use a light one once again. Okay, and then after that I'll show you also an option with a light dumbbell that you can do. First and foremost, take a look at what my hands are, okay? This is how I'm going to be gripping the kettlebell. Number one, I'm not in the middle, I'm out toward the horns as much as I can possibly get. And the rest I'm going to show you momentarily. So, real quick, what you're going to see about my upper back is that I'm going to be like this. Now, you might not have the shoulder mobility to do this. You might only be able to go a portion of the way, right? And that's perfectly fine. You'll still build some strength doing that, and it'll help you to work on your spine, your T-spine extension, your upper, basically between your neck and your low back, okay? So, to get it into position, you want to roll and pull, okay? Now, from here, what you're going to do is you're going to get your thumbs in like this, okay? Not like that, okay? Unless you have a really good dental plan, don't even try it like that. Just like this, okay? The other option is you can grab here, press up, and then very slowly and very carefully get your hands in position, okay? You do not want to arch. You want to stay tight here and then pull your shoulders down. So big chest, but tight abs, okay? You're going to lower under control and then pull back up. Lower and pull. Okay, once again, you're not trying to do a back bridge. You want to keep your abs as tight as you can. Now again, if you can only go, let's say, this far before your elbows feel like they need to bend, only go that far. Like that, okay? Now, if you don't have any kettlebells that are light enough for you to do that, another good option would be a light dumbbell. Might also be a little easier on your shoulders too.
With this, be very careful that you don't drop it like that. It's not cool, okay? And you're not trying to press on the inside. You want to make sure you have a nice, tight and firm grip, okay? Same thing, tight stomach. Pull your shoulders down toward the ground, over the head, and pull back up. Shoulders pulled to the ground, abs tight. Glutes tight is also very helpful. And go back and forth, just like this, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Enjoy.